What's good, YouTube? Make America Lit here, back with another NBA 2K24 video. And in today's video, I have another episode of Rare Builds for you guys. As you can see on your screen, in today's episode, we are going to be creating a point center. And yes, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to be making a legit, real point center. I've looked online. I've seen people say that they made a point center, but it's actually like a two-way diming something, or a diming inside out, or a passing, or pass first, whatever. But it's never really an actual point center. But I'm here to make an actual, real point center. We are actually going to have the name point center on the build. So with that being said, let's jump into the build. Very kind of versatile niche build, but I think depending on how good you are at the game, you can make this work. So obviously, if you want to make this build, you have to make it at the center position, otherwise you won't get the name point center. For the height, you do have to go all the way down to 6'7". That's really the only knock on this build, is that you are going to be 6'7". I went 240. I don't think you can play with the height or the wingspan, the height or whatever. You can play with the weight, but I do believe that you have to be 6'7". I tried making this at 6'8" and 6'9", and I couldn't get the name. Maybe one of y'all know how to tweak it where you can get it, but this is just what I did. I went 6'7", I went 240, and then I maxed out the wingspan just so that we have better defensive stats. That's personally what I did. Like I said, you guys could tweak this and maybe find a better version, if you want to play around with it. But this is just what I went with after tinkering around in the build creator or whatever. So center 6'7", 240, 7'4" wingspan. First things first, I threw a 80 layup on this build. A 80 driving layup right here, as you see, is going to be enough. Just the minimum really of, well, really the minimum is 77. That would be the lowest I go on a layup of 77. But 80 is enough. You see, you're going to get most layup badges on gold, float game, spin cycle, two-step, scooper. You're going to get that Hall of Fame Pro Touch, which is going to go crazy. And that's really what's going to help you go stupid going down low with the layups and stuff. You are going to have gold Giant Slayer, which normally, on a center build, you're like, oh, well, what do I care about Giant Slayer? But you're going to be on a 6'7" center. You're kind of going to want Giant Slayer. You know what I'm saying? You're going to have Silver Slithery and Silver Acrobat. Now, you can tweak this build, again, like I said, and go higher on the layup. And if you do go higher, I would suggest you go to like 84, I think, or 85. Or just go all the way up to 87. If you go all the way up to 87, you will unlock Gold Fearless Finisher on the build as well, too. As you can see right here at the top. You can't see it because I don't have the strength up, but if you have at least an 87 layup, and I think like a 60-something strength or 63 strength, you can unlock Gold Fearless Finisher. So I would recommend that if you are going to go higher on the layup, you would go to 87 if you can. Then I went 70 on the drive and dunk, and this is just for the pick and roll. You know what I'm saying? Off the pick and roll, you want to be able to dunk the ball or lay the ball up. Just having the layup on 80 and the drive and dunk on 70 is just going to make you versatile enough where, I've seen dudes have a center build that can't dunk, that can't finish, and it kind of just, makes you one-dimensional. It kind of makes you, for lack of a better word, shit. Okay, if we're running a pick and roll and all you can do is pick and pop, and they kind of take notice that you're never rolling, you're only popping, yeah, people are going to just play the three. You know what I'm saying? They're going to sag off. They're going to, or play up. They're not going to sag off, and they're not going to worry about you rolling, because you're going to be like, oh, well, I got a 60 layup and a 60 drive and dunk, or a 40 drive and dunk and a 50 close shot. I can't roll at all. So just this alone right here at the bare minimum will be enough to make you be able to run the pick and roll, and that's what you want. You want to be versatile. You're not going to always be able to shoot, and because this build does have a little bit lower shooting, you kind of want to make sure that you have some finishing or whatever. Now for the standing dunk, of course, we're going 40 standing dunk, because that's the minimum you need for the standing dunk animations, like the basic standing dunk animations. And again, that's just going to add some versatility to your build. Sometimes you don't get a drive and dunk. Sometimes when you're doing a drive and dunk, they'll give you a standing dunk animation, which is kind of nice, because those are, in my opinion, way harder to block. Even on my 6'6" build, I'll get like standing dunk animations, because I have like a 45 or 48 standing dunk. And sometimes even then, sometimes it won't trigger a driving dunk. With my 46 driving dunk, it'll trigger a standing dunk even while I'm driving. So keep that in mind if you do get a standing dunk just on 40. Just a 40 standing dunk is enough to get those animations, and it does trigger kind of often, you know. Then the next thing I did was I went with a 92 post control. And keep in mind, I went with a 40 standing dunk. Standing dunk is very cheap. Post control is kind of cheap as well too, in my opinion. And I think it goes based on height. But right here, as you can see, we're going to go 92 post control. And we're not going 92 post control because we're going to be, you know, posting up and cooking dudes in the post or anything like that. We're going 92 post control strictly because we want that badge right there, that gold unpluckable, okay? And, you know, when we max out our ball handle, you'll see why we went with a 92 post control. We'll get there, but we're going with the 92 post control because we do want gold unpluckable. You're going to see the other badges we get. We get bronze dream shake, bronze hook specialist, we get gold drop stepper. We'll have like Hall of Fame post fade phenom or gold post fade phenom if I'm not mistaken. We'll have Hall of Fame post playmaker, and we'll have Hall of Fame post spin technician as well too, as you see right there. But just for the sake of gold unpluckable, because we're going to be on a point center, which means we're going to be, you know, running the offense with this build, a Jokic type of build, if you will. You want to be able to have gold unpluckable. You can't consider yourself a point anything and not have, you know, a higher level of unpluckable, because dudes are going to see your center and they're just going to reach on you nonstop. And guess what? You're going to get plucked. If you have anything less than gold unpluckable, you got bronze or silver, you're standing a very good chance of getting plucked. So that's why I went with 92 post control. Like I said, I finessed this build. I was playing around with it just to see what I can get, what I can't get. Now, moving on to the mid-range, we're not going to touch the mid-range at all. We're just going to go straight to our three-point shot. And the max that we can go is a 77. So we're going to put this right here, boom, at 77. You can't go to 78. You can't go to 79. If you go to 78 or 79, your build name will change to a stretch playmaker. And we don't want the name stretch playmaker. We want the name point center. We want the exact name point center for our unique build. So you have to go 77 or below. You can't stop at 76. I just went 77 because I figured you guys would want the highest three ball. With, you know, shooting being super inconsistent as it is, you want the highest three ball you can get so you can space the floor and whatnot. And here you see we got some pretty decent badges. We got blinders. We got silver catch and shoot. Now the main badges that I wanted to focus on is silver catch and shoot, silver corner specialist, right? And silver claymore, which we have, and silver open looks. Those are the main badges. Now, I would have liked to get silver green machine. As you see right here, it requires a 78 three ball just going up one, but just going up that 1 point is going to change your name from a point center to a stretch playmaker. So if you don't care about actually having a name point center, then you could go 78 right here and then copy the rest of the build. And, you know, you'll still be kind of similar to a point center. You just won't have the name. You'll have the name stretch playmaker. But if you want the actual unique name of point center, you have to go 77 on the three ball, which you're going to lose silver green machine and you're going to lose silver space creator. But again, like I said, it's not that bad. You still have silver catch. You still have silver corner specialist. You still have silver claymore, and you still have silver open looks, which means you'll be able to spot up. The only thing we're really missing is Green Machine and Space Creator by going down. And because you're 6'7", you'll also have access to Bronze Agent 3, which is actually pretty nice. Most center builds ain't going to have that because I think you have to be under 6'10", I believe, to get this. So most center builds aren't going to be running around with Agent 3 because most center builds are usually like 6'11", 7 feet. That's just my take on it. I mean, it kind of sucks that you have to go that low or whatever on there, but yeah, that's what we have to do. Then I went with an 80 free throw. As you guys know, I only play rec. If you play rec or pro-am, you kind of want to have like a decent free throw this year so you can knock down shots consistently. It is free points. But if you only play park, you can take this off, of course. But me personally, I would just say leave like either a 70 if you don't play park. I mean rec, just in case when you do run into rec, you want to have it. Or you can go ahead and throw that 80 free throw on if you do play rec or whatever. Now for the passing, or playmaking, I should say. We're maxing out ball handle at a 91. Yes, we're going to max that out. We're maxing out speed with ball at an 80. Yes, we're going to max that out. And then for the pass accuracy, we're going to go all the way up to an 89. Now, I tweaked this to see how low I can and can't go. I didn't go below an 89 because I kind of liked what I built here, but you can tweak this to see if you can go down to an 87. I stayed with an 89 just because I really do want that gold diamond, and it's kind of hard to consider yourself a point anything or a diamond anything, and you don't have at least a gold diamond. But if you don't care about, being the best teammate you can be and helping your team out with shooting with gold dimer, you can go down to an 87. The only thing you're going to lose is dimer and relay passer. You're still going to have silver needle threader. You're still going to have bronze bailout. You'll still have special delivery, touch passer, break starter, and post playmaker, and all those things. So ultimately, it's up to you what you choose. But me personally, I went with an 89 pass accuracy. I never really went below that because I was trying to go lower and lower and lower. I think I started out at a 96 and then I went down to a 93, then a 92, then a 91, then 89. And this is where I stopped at because I was able to make the build that I want. So, as you can see, you're still going to have really good passing badges with just an 89. You can play with this and tweak it and see if you could go down to an 87 and still get the name. If you can still get the name at 87, then I would suggest going 87 and then, playing around, adding something to your, mid-range or something else. You can't add anything to your 3 because it's going to change the name, but you could add something somewhere else if you can. Obviously, a 91 ball handle, and, this is where that 92 post control comes in at that I told you guys before. You would be capped at a 91, which means you would have silver unpluckable, and that is a no-no. So we're going to have a 92 post control with gold unpluckable, and we'll also have a 91 ball handle, so we'll have that killer combos, we'll have speed booster, gold unpluckable, ankle breaker. All of these badges, are going to be lit up, and we're going to have them, which is nice because you got to take into consideration that we're going to be a center. And you're going to have a center guarding you, which means there's going to be somebody that's either 6'10", 6'11", or 7 foot, maybe even 7'1" guarding you. And they're going to have to guard somebody who is 6'7", with guard dribble moves. You're going to have guard dribble moves with this build. You're going to have, all the good dribble animations, because it's not capped by position, it's capped by height. And attribute rating. So you're going to have a 91 ball handle. You're going to have similar ball handle as a 6'6" point guard or a 6'5" point guard or shooting guard. So keep that in mind as well, too. And that center is going to have to guard you, and they're not going to be able to guard you. You're going to go crazy with this build. You know what I'm saying? Then moving on, I went with an 82 interior defense. And that's just because you need, some pretty decent defense. I played around with this build, like I said, multiple times, and I had to find a way to get block on this build. I was able to have like a 90 interior defense, but my block was like a 59, and I didn't like that because I'm like, at 6'7", you aren't going to stop anybody with a 90 interior defense and a 50 block. So I had to finesse this some kind of way. I went with an 82 interior defense, which is decent enough to get you some stops down low in the paint. Even at 6'7", you'll see what I mean. Then the next thing we went with was an 87 block. That's right, an 87 block. Boom, right there. So that 82 interior defense normally wouldn't mean jack shit, right? Because interior defense is broken in this game. But with an 87 block, that unlocks silver anchor for us, which means we'll be able to get higher contest percentages down low in the paint. Even at 6'7", jumping with silver anchor is going to make these people miss more often than not. You'll be able to play some type of paint even. Now, again, like I said, I'm not saying you're going to lock down the paint. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that you're going to be swatting everybody or anything like that. I'm just saying that you will be able to get stops. When you go up against that 6'10", 6'11", 7-foot center, you will be able to get stops. If you don't have interior defense or block, you don't have any anchor on your build, you are going to get dogged every single time with down low. They're going to just post hook you to death. They're going to just lay the ball up on your head. You're not going to get any stops at all without interior defense and block or anchor on your build. So that's why I tweaked that. I had 90 interior defense before, like a 50 block, no anchor, and I was just like, this ain't gonna work. So 82 interior defense, 87 block, silver anchor is gonna be enough to get you some stops down there. Now, for offensive rebound, I maxed the offensive rebound out. We maxed out the offensive rebound, and then I also maxed out the defensive rebound. Now, ordinarily, Actually, wait, no. I didn't max out defensive rebound. I think I went 87 because I just realized I have way too high of. Yeah. I went 87. I didn't go thing. I went 87. Now, the reason why I went 87 on this is because I still needed my physicals. And you're gonna see what I mean by when I said like I had to finesse the physicals or whatever. But 87 is more than enough to get you silver rebound chaser. We're not really too concerned about offensive rebound that much. Now, what you can do is you can put your offensive rebound down and try to go as high as you can on the defensive rebound. But I went 87 just because I felt like that was just enough. We're not at that threshold of gold, but we're higher than the threshold needed for silver, because most people just stop at 83 or they'll go 85. I try to go a little bit on the higher end because you do want to be able to rebound. Now, normally, 87, you're like, that's not that good or that's not that high or whatever, and I get that. But when you see the physicals, you know what I'm saying, you're going to realize like, okay, nah, this will work. Even at an 87, you'll realize that this actually kind of would work. Now, for the speed, I went with an 84 speed and I maxed that out, and now you can see that we're gonna have silver speed booster and silver hyperdrive on this build. I also maxed out the acceleration. So I'm just gonna go back up to the playmaking very briefly so you guys can see. This is a center build. You're gonna have silver blow by. You're gonna have silver killer combos. You're gonna have silver speed booster. Gold unpluckable, gold ankle breaker, and gold triple strike. So like I said, it's going to be very hard. You're also going to have silver hyperdrive. It's going to be very hard to guard you. As another center, they're not going to have the speed, the lateral quickness, or anything like that. They won't have high perimeter defense, which means they won't have clamps. They won't have fast feet. None of these things to stay in front of you. Like I said, you're going to struggle defensively if you're guarding a 7-1 big. They're going to be tall as hell. They're going to be able to hook over you or score over you. If they're decent, if they're good at the game and have post moves, they will cook you. You know what I'm saying? They're probably going to cook you a little bit. You know what I'm saying? But if you're talking about a big, that doesn't, or they don't really know what they're doing, which is a good majority of the people on center this year. A lot of people are making centers, not because they want to make centers, but just because they can't play guard, they can't shoot, so they just make a paint sitting center or whatever. You're gonna be fine against those players. Trust me. Now, the dudes who actually play center every year, they might be feasting, man. I'm not gonna lie to you. It's gonna be a little bit of a, a little issue. Now, for the strength, I went all the way up with a 90. Okay, I went with a 90. I played around with it. I was gonna go 96. But I had to play around with the weight and the wingspan. And when you max out your wingspan, your strength goes down. I settled with a 90. We're going to miss out on gold bulldozer and stuff. But, I really wanted 96 because I wanted bulldozer and, brick wall and, box out beast and immovable enforcer. I wanted all of these badges on Hall of Fame just to kind of give us even more of a chance of playing better defense. But the reason why I went with 90 is you're going to see this is still going to be enough to get you, gold box out, gold brick wall, gold immovable enforcer, silver post lockdown. Like, you're still going to be very good defensively, and you kind of want to compensate for being 6'7". We're 6'7", but we are 240. We do have a 90 strength and max wingspan. We will be able to get up there for those blocks, those boards, and we'll be able to move people around and box out. So we're going to have, the mismatch on height, but we won't have the mismatch on strength or weight. And then finally for the vertical, I went with an 84 on the vertical. And that's what I meant by like the 87 defensive rebound, 77 offensive rebound. Like, people will look at that and be like, man, that's kind of low. Probably should have maxed this out. But we're going to compensate without having maxed rebounding stats. We're going to have a pretty high vertical at 84. And most centers aren't running around with an 80 plus vertical, in my opinion. Majority of them probably around like a 70, maybe a 75, but I don't really see a lot of 7'1" dudes running around with 84 and 85, 90 vertical on their builds, just because they're so tall, their wingspan is so high that they just feel like they don't need vertical, not realizing that vertical really helps on rebounds. It's literally in the description. You said used as a gate for dunk animations, and in combination with attribute counterparts allows a player to jump higher on rebounds and blocks. And that's the reason why I tell you guys, if I'm making a build with blocks or rebound, I put the vertical up. If I'm not, then I don't put the vertical up at all. I leave it default. You know what I'm saying? So an 84 vertical with that 87 defensive rebound, 77, and 87 block is going to help us with getting boards and contesting down low. And then, last but not least on this build, I just put everything else on stamina, which gives us a 94 stamina. We can't get gold handles for days anyway. Without like losing something, we do have the 91 ball handle needed, but we needed a 96 stamina, and there really isn't anywhere else that I thought that I could really remove something. Now, like I said, if you play, you don't play rec or anything at all, like you can probably take your free throw down, and then you can put that into your stamina, so you can have gold handles for days or whatever. That's what you can do. But if you don't, I wouldn't recommend doing that. I would keep it like how I have it or whatever, like go 94 and then just go with an 80 free throw, because the free throw is very important. You are going to get fouled a lot, and I see dudes bricking free throws. Like when I say bricking free throws, I see a lot of people in the rec bricking free throws, and as me, I hate watching people miss free throws. It's even worse when they go up for the technical free throw for defensive three, transition, take foul, and they're bricking free points like that. So for me, I like to keep at least an 80 free throw. I feel consistent with an 80 or better free throw. But like I said, you can bring that down to like a 78 and go like 96 like that. And you can go like that and still get the name point center. You'll have gold handles for days. You'll have gold workhorse. Like, it's totally up to you if that's what you want to do. I'm going to leave it like that for the sake of the video, but I did go 80 free throw, 94 stamina originally on this build. And then, of course, we'll create our build and we'll have our shades of, which is Wes Unseld, Bam Adebayo, and Jared Allen. But you'll also see that we have created a point center with the actual name point center, man. So here you have it. This is the point center build for NBA 2K24. It's been your boy Make America Lit. Please be sure to drop a like, comment, and subscribe for more NBA 2K24 content, and of course more rare builds like this. I'm out, y'all. Peace.